Picture this. The internet is still wiping the crust out its eyes. Blogs are still stretching like they just woke up. And suddenly, boom Lil Durk walks out those doors like he's in the season finale of a Netflix crime saga that even the writers weren't ready for. And trust me, whatever you think happened, nah, the streets are whispering something way wilder. This whole situation makes the Kardashians look like they're running a kindergarten bake sale. This isn't just a release, it's a plot twist Hollywood wishes it could afford. Because, apparently, the real reason Durk got unleashed today isn't the one they're putting in the cute little press statements. No. This one's messier than a group chat after somebody screenshots the wrong convo. Sources are acting like they accidentally opened Pandora's box and broke the lid off. Fans are panicking, ops are confused, and even the cops are looking around like, wait, who approved this? And you know what's crazy? Story behind this sudden freedom is so explosive. Somebody in the system is probably sweating harder than a pastor reading Christian Rock's Twitter feed in church. So buckle up, because what's coming next is the kind of revelation that makes the internet lose its last 3 brain cells simultaneously. Let's dive into the chaos. From the moment sunrise hit Chicago, something felt off, like the universe woke up with a smirk. You know that suspicious energy in the air when somebody's lying and pretending they're not? Yeah, that vibe. And right in the middle of that tension, Lil Durk. The rumors started swirling before anyone even had time to brush their teeth. Fans were half asleep, scrolling through their phones, squinting at their screens like, ain't no way this is real. But oh, it was real. Too real. Real enough to make half the internet sit up straight like they were summoned to the front of the class. What people didn't know was that this release wasn't some casual good behavior deal. It wasn't a scheduled update. It wasn't even a lucky break. No, this looked like someone inside the system pressed a panic button and then sprinted away. The kind of last-minute decision that smells like cover-ups, phone calls at 3 a.m. and somebody yelling, shut it down before it leaks. But guess what? Tit leaked anyway. Because in 2025, secrets don't stay buried. They get dragged out of the ground and go viral before the dirt even falls off. As soon as word spread, you could practically hear Chicago's group chats exploding. Every blogger, cousin, ex-friend, and that one coworker who always claims they have inside sources suddenly started posting like they were CNN correspondents. They switched fonts, added red circles, arrows, fake timestamps, everything. But even with all the noise, one thing kept popping up. Something happened behind those walls. Something nobody expected, and something somebody very important did not want the public to know. And yet, here we are. Let's rewind for a second, because this story doesn't start today. It starts months ago, when Durk's situation went from complicated to this looks scripted by Zeus Network. The charges, the headlines, the speculation, it all piled up until the whole thing looked like a Jenga tower made of dynamite. The prosecution had their narrative. Fans had theirs. The ops had theirs too, but they were too busy making burner accounts to post memes. Everyone thought the case was headed toward a long, messy, dramatic timeline. Nobody expected a plot twist, especially not this early. Inside, Durk was reportedly keeping his head down, playing chess while everyone else played Uno. But even with the silence, some guards were whispering about weird movements. People getting transferred at odd hours. Meetings that weren't on the schedule. Doors opening and closing when they shouldn't. You know how in every crime show, there's always that moment when a character goes, something's not right. You'll multiply that by 10. By the time the legal team was notified, Durk was already being processed for release. It was that sudden. Then came the first leak. A grainy little message in a private Discord server, because of course, that's where all modern scandals begin. Someone claiming to be close to the situation dropped a line. They letting Durk out early. Reason ain't what y'all think. Within 10 minutes, TikTok detectives were stitching videos. Instagram pages were posting theories, and X, better known as Twitter, but now more unhinged, was having a meltdown. It was the digital equivalent of the purge siren going off. And the theories? Oh, they got wild. Some people swore Durk had dirt on someone in high places. Others claimed a witness mysteriously changed their story. A few dramatic souls insisted the FBI found bigger fish and decided Durk wasn't worth the paperwork. Then there were the conspiracy theorists yelling about clones, body doubles, shapeshifters, and one person who swore they saw Durk walking out with glowing eyes like he got superpowers in lockup. The internet needs therapy, but that's a conversation for another day. But here's where things got interesting. A second leak popped up, this time from someone who actually works in the system. They didn't name themselves. Obviously, people who value their jobs tend not to. But they did say this: if y'all knew what went down last night, you'd understand why this had to happen. And the way they emphasized had to. Yeah, that sent everybody into hysteria. You know something is serious when even the trolls go quiet. Suddenly, reporters, bloggers, and those Twitter accounts that post every 5 seconds all started digging. They pulled documents, cross-checked dates, refreshed public records like they were applying to college again. And slowly, pieces started falling into place. Whatever caused Durk's release wasn't a legal decision. It wasn't a court order. It wasn't some planned negotiation. This looked like a reaction, like something forced a hand. And the system didn't have time to hide it properly. Meanwhile, Durk's team stayed silent. Not a word, not a whisper, not even a cryptic emoji on Instagram. If you know Durk, you know he doesn't do unnecessary noise. But silence during a moment like this, that's not normal. That's strategic. That's we know something y'all don't, and we're letting the world sweat energy. His team wasn't confused. They weren't scrambling. They were waiting. And when people who know the game start waiting, that's when you know the real storm hasn't even hit yet. Outside, fans were pulling up to the facility, live streaming, yelling theories into their phones like they were auditioning for a reality show. Every car that passed by had at least one person squinting at the windows like they were expecting Durk to appear in slow motion. And then, out of nowhere, he did. Calm, controlled. No chaos, no shouting. He stepped out like a man who already knew he was leaving hours before anyone said a word. Like whatever happened behind those walls wasn't a surprise, was a decision. And that's when the whispers turned into screams. People started saying a high-ranking official intervened. Others insisted something went down inside that required immediate extraction. Imagine having a release described the same way they talk about evacuating alien witnesses in movies. The whole thing sounded absurd till you realized nobody was denying it. Reporters asked for a comment and got the same copy-paste answer every time. No further details at this time. Translation: something messy is being cleaned up right now. By mid-morning, even celebrities started chiming in. Some were shocked. Some pretended they knew something was coming. Some were clearly fishing for clout. But collectively, they added fuel to a fire that was already burning like somebody poured gasoline and threw a match with bad intentions. Meanwhile, Durk moved like someone who wasn't running from a scandal, he was walking out of one. And that's when analysts started breaking it down. They looked at the timing, the paperwork inconsistencies, the sudden silence from officials, and the speed of the entire process. Pretty soon, the conclusion became unavoidable. This wasn't coincidence. This wasn't luck. Something triggered this release. Something unexpected. Something big enough to make powerful people shift gears overnight. You'd think that would calm the internet. Oh no, it made everything worse. Theories got crazier, memes got louder, and every time someone thought they found the truth, another leak dropped, hinting at an even deeper twist. And that's where the real chaos begins. Because the real reason they let Lil Durk go? It's way darker, way stranger, and way more chaotic than anyone expected. And trust me, what comes next is where this story stops being a scandal and becomes a full-blown saga. The moment Lil Durk touched daylight, the internet didn't just react, it combusted. You would have thought the Avengers reunited, Beyoncé dropped a surprise album, and Tupac walked out of hiding all at the same time. Timelines froze. Apps glitched. People started refreshing their feeds like they were trying to summon a genie. And in the middle of this digital earthquake, the twists began dropping like plot bombs written by the most chaotic, sleep-deprived writer in the universe. Because just when everyone thought the story couldn't get any crazier, a brand new leak surfaced, this time from a source who clearly had nothing left to lose. They didn't tiptoe, they didn't sugarcoat. Tease. Word for word, what happened last night forced the system to open the gates. Forced. That one word had the entire internet shaking like Wi-Fi during a thunderstorm. You know something. It's serious when people stop arguing in the comments and start playing detective. Suddenly, everyone with a podcast, a ring light, and a slightly functioning microphone decided they were investigative journalists. People started drawing charts, connecting dots that did not need to be connected, adding arrows and referencing events from 2012 that had absolutely nothing to do with anything. TikTok was moving like it was solving a national mystery. Twitter's Story X was exploding with memes, all of them claiming to know the real truth. Half the theories were ridiculous, but the other half were so spicy you almost wanted to believe them just for entertainment value. The wildest part: some celebrities started subtweeting like they were part of the plot. No names mentioned, but the passive aggression was loud. One rapper posted, "When you know the truth, the world looks different." Another added, "They can't hide everything forever." And then, a certain industry executive who has no business commenting on street drama posted a suspicious emoji. When rich people drop the eyes emoji. Oh yeah, something messy is brewing. Meanwhile, fans were arguing like lawyers in a courtroom. One group insisted Durk got released because a key witness folded like a cheap lawn chair. Another claimed new evidence popped up that made the charges look shakier than Blueface's last apology tour. Then, of course, there were the conspiracy theorists who swore the government needed Durk for a secret operation, and his release was actually a recruitment. These are the same people who think pigeons are government drones, but Hatha, internet, lets everyone cook. But then, the twist landed. And this one didn't come from a burner account. It came from an actual reporter, someone who's known for posting messy but accurate info. They claimed the release wasn't just sudden. It was reactive, meaning something happened inside, something involving someone with enough power to snap fingers and move mountains. The moment that hit the web, the internet collectively gasped like a dramatic cast on a telenovela. People started digging deeper, pulling up guard transfers, late-night admin movements, and unexplained system resets that happened hours before Durk walked out. That's when a pattern started emerging. Every suspicious event lined up perfectly, like someone hit a domino and watched it topple all the way to the exit gate. Whatever this chain reaction was, it wasn't random. It was calculated, and then the memes started. Oh, the memes. Someone posted a picture of Durk walking out with the caption, "When you know something they don't want you to know." Another added a still of Thanos, saying, "I used the stones to destroy the stones," implying Durk used the system to break the system. Someone else made a SpongeBob meme showing the prison staff panicking while Durk calmly walks out. Every corner of the internet turned this release into comedy gold. But comedy aside, here's where things turned deadly serious. A third insider dropped a new detail. Whatever triggered this release didn't just come from inside the prison. It came from higher up, much higher. They said there were calls made from outside the state. People took that and ran with it like they were training for the Olympics. Suddenly, all the major gossip blogs were posting vague messages like, "We know what happened," even though they definitely did not know what happened at the same time. Durk's silence was making people lose their minds. No post, no statement. Not even a motivational quote on his Instagram story. And when a celebrity stays silent in the middle of chaos, that silence speaks louder than a press conference. It was giving "I'm about to leak something explosive," but not. Yet, it was giving "I'm watching y'all spiral for my own." Amusement? It was giving "y'all ain't even ready." Then came another twist. Was spotted leaving in a vehicle that definitely wasn't from his usual circle. That one detail was enough to send the internet into meltdown mode. Why that car? Why that driver? Why those tinted windows that looked darker than Carlos's attitude on a bad day? Everything felt symbolic, intentional, almost cinematic. Fans were analyzing body language, zooming into reflections, slowing footage down like they were reviewing UFO sightings. And then came the celebrity reactions that flipped everything upside down. One artist who hasn't spoken to Durk since 2018 suddenly posted a congratulatory message. Another artist unfollowed someone suspiciously close to the case. A third person, someone who claims they're always in the room when things happen, posted a video saying, "Y'all don't even understand how real this got last night." That was enough to send social media into nuclear meltdown mode. Now the fans weren't just curious, they were terrified. Because every new detail suggested the same thing. Someone extremely influential leaned in and whispered, "Let him go." And when someone with that level of force gets involved, it's never for a soft reason. No one makes late-night phone calls unless something urgent, dangerous, or scandalous is happening behind the scenes. Theories shifted from legal technicality to somebody crossed the wrong person. People started connecting Durk's past feuds, old rivalries, unresolved issues, and the kind of whispers you only hear when the streets are paying close attention. Someone on Instagram Live said Durk wasn't released. He was extracted. That one sentence alone caused more chaos than the actual release. Extracted. What does that even mean? Released from danger? Released into danger. Released to prevent danger. By now, the narrative had grown so massive that nobody knew what was real, but everyone knew something bigger was coming. Because if Durk's release was a warning shot, the follow-up was going to be seismic, and that's when the fourth leak hit. This one wasn't a message. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't a cryptic emoji. It was a document. A short, heavily redacted piece of information with just enough visible text to make your heart drop into your stomach. The visible part suggested urgent circumstance, immediate decision, an external factor requiring rapid response. Suddenly, everything made sense, yet nothing made sense at all. It was like the universe gave the public puzzle pieces, but hid the box cover. The streets got louder. Fans got crazier. The memes got funnier. But at the center of it all, one truth was becoming harder and harder to ignore. Lil Durk didn't walk out early because someone wanted to do him a favor. He walked out because someone wanted him out dash fast by the time the fourth leak hit the internet. The whole situation had snowballed into something so massive, so chaotic, so unbelievably dramatic that even Hollywood directors were probably sitting somewhere like, "Damn, we should have written that." And trust me, this final stage of the saga is where everything stops being rumor and starts feeling like a chess game played on fire. Because as the dust settled and the memes slowed down, people started noticing something eerie. The officials who were usually loud, confident, dismissive, gone, silent, offline, moving like they'd seen a ghost with receipts. And silence in situations like this. That's not normal. That's not coincidence. That's people scrambling behind closed doors, elbows deep in paperwork, praying nobody connects the last dots. Meanwhile, Durk disappeared from public view. No paparazzi shots, no fan videos, no celebration posts, just radio silence. You'd think a man who walked out of a place nobody expected him to leave would be turning up somewhere nowhere. But the fact that he vanished after release, oh, that was suspicious. Fans started saying things like, he must be meeting with somebody important. Others insisted he needed protection. Some were convinced he was preparing a statement. So explosive the internet would need emotional support afterward. But the most dramatic theory, the one people whispered like a forbidden secret, was simple. Something happened inside those walls that made keeping him locked up more dangerous than letting him walk free. And that theory didn't go away. It grew, it evolved. It picked up weight. Because every hour that passed brought a new clue, a new whisper, a new crack in the official narrative. Then came a new set of details. Someone who claimed to work in the building said a security incident occurred hours before the release. Not a fight, not a riot, something classified, something that required immediate intervention. That word again, immediate. Nothing in that world happens immediately. Unless the situation is so messy, so risky, so unpredictable that the system decides, let's just remove the piece causing the pressure. People started piecing together the theory that Durk wasn't the issue. The issue was everything happening around him. The tension, the circles, the investigations, the eyes on the system, the whispers that people outside were ready to push harder than ever. And the worst part? Multiple insiders claim someone high up had warned things will get worse before they get better. Worse. What could possibly be worse than the chaos already happening? That's when another twist dropped from the sky like a meteor aimed directly at the internet's soul. Someone released audio short, muffled, but unmistakably real sounding of guards shouting about an urgent transfer, a priority clearance, and something about authorities making the call. It didn't have Durk's name in it. It didn't need to. The timing was too perfect. The web didn't even think twice before losing its mind again. And here's where things took a turn from dramatic to legendary. Because the final leak, the one that tied everything together, didn't come from a burner account. It didn't come from a reporter. It didn't even come from a guard. It came from someone who handles legal files. Someone with access to everything. Someone who apparently had enough of the secrets and was ready to blow the roof off the building. They posted a message saying the real reason Durk got released was due to a situation involving risk assessment. Not to him, but to the facility. A threat, a danger, something powerful enough that the safest option was letting him go. And that's when the whole narrative finally clicked. Durk didn't get lucky. Durk didn't get special treatment. Durk didn't get a blessing. Durk got out because keeping him in was a liability. Something or someone made the system panic. Fans started asking the real questions. Did someone inside flip? Did someone outside make a move? Did a witness retract something major? Did something happen that could have sparked retaliation? Did someone discover information that blew the case apart? Every theory circled around the same conclusion. A pressure point snapped. And the people in charge decided the smartest move was opening the door faster than the truth could leak. But while the internet was busy spinning, speculating, and dragging half the industry into the conspiracy just for fun, the aftermath was heating up. Celebrities were choosing sides without saying it directly. Some posted cryptic celebration messages. Others started distancing themselves, quietly deleting photos, unfollowing accounts, and pretending they never knew him like that. The industry does that, picks and chooses when they want to stand close and when they want to act like they've caught amnesia. Meanwhile, fans were torn between relief and paranoia. Half were screaming "Free Durk" in celebration. The other half were refreshing their feeds like they were expecting someone to drop a nuclear truth bomb. Because every major scandal has that one moment, the calm before the real chaos hits. And that moment was stretching longer and longer. Then, finally, someone from Durk's camp broke the silence. Not with a statement, not with a post. With a single sentence to a media source: "Everything will make sense soon." That line alone had more impact than a 20-page press release. It didn't calm people down. It made them 10 times more curious. It gave "y'all ain't ready" mixed with the "truth is so wild, you're gonna need popcorn." People started predicting what would happen next. Some thought Durk would drop a tell-all interview. Others thought he'd release a track burying everyone involved. A few claimed he'd go off the grid entirely, letting the world chew on rumors while he plotted the next chapter. But the reality was bigger than music, bigger than gossip, bigger than scandal. Because the real aftermath was happening behind closed doors. Investigations were stirred, officials were questioned, systems were combed through for errors. Someone somewhere was sweating bullets because the internet was getting too close to the truth. And while the world ran wild, trying to figure out what exactly forced the system's hand, one thing became painfully clear. This wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning. A release this sudden doesn't happen without consequences. Someone's reputation is about to crumble. Someone's influence is about to be exposed. Someone's secrets are on the edge of leaking. And Durk, whether by accident or destiny, is now at the center of a bigger storm than anyone expected. Because when someone gets released due to pressure, that pressure always comes back. It hunts, it exposes, it continues, and the public. They're watching, they're ready. They're waiting